welcome back. So today I gotta figure out a bunch of little problems with this trommel. We tested it yesterday and it's just not quite working right. As to be expected, you know, I engineered it myself and it's half built out of other old equipment. So today we're fixing these problems and just working through them one by one. I think I can actually. We have a few options with fixing the sluice. Right now the angle's not steep enough, but the wash plant is a little too low, so we're having to dig out the ground to get the angle on the sluice. And I thought it would be close. It wasn't close enough. We lowered it 9 inches yesterday and we still need to get 2 more inches of drop. So I'm just gonna dig this out quickly. We're gonna try this first. We wanna just kinda get putting some gravel through the box while we can, so we don't have to move around too much. We got tons of pay dirt ready to go. So we just wanna process it and not, you know, spend too much time setting up. So you need 1 inch of drop for every foot of sluice box length that you have. And we had about 7.5 inches. I did some calculations yesterday. And in order to sluice this size of a sluice box, I need about 12 to 1,300 liters per minute going through here. We were running about 900 yesterday. So with the combination of the angle of the sluice not being enough and then too low a water volume, it just clogged right up. So get the angle set right so we know we got it right. 10 inches of drop over 10 feet. And then I'm gonna analyze, thought I saw a gold nugget. Then we're gonna analyze if we have enough depth to dig this down to put a wooden trough in as a tailings chute so that the tailings don't dump here, they go out through the chute. That would be perfect. Then we got this one whole problem solved. Let's lower the sluice. So we got these planks on site and I'm hoping to use the bottom, the big one as the bottom, and then these as sides for kind of like a sluice with no screen in it, but just a trough for the tailings chute. The wood's nice and slippery, and then by narrowing the trough, that water volume is gonna help eject the tailings. So I put adjustable feet on the sluice box so that no matter what ground it was sitting on, it could be leveled independently, and it didn't vibrate by being attached to the wash plant. But I put them at the back of the sluice and then realized I wanted to add 2 more feet after. So now I have this 2.5 feet of kind of overhang from these jacks. So as I lower the front, getting closer and closer, the back is raising and it's now connecting with the wash plant. So I'm having to lower the back to keep lowering the front. I'm kind of like fighting myself. If it's 8 inches over 8 feet, or 9 inches over 8 feet, does that mean for every inch I go further, it's the right drop for 10 feet? 5.5, we're at 9.5.
Too easy.
Sorry, so that's 13, 12 feet. 1 foot minus 5.5.
This is
crazy. We got 5.5 inches there. Okay. So, did I say 13.5?
13.5, I think.
Exactly.
13.
5.5. So we got the sluice box perfect. We actually got 10.5 inches drop over 10 feet, but it's like a little bouncy as I'm trying to level it myself. So I think it's at least not under, it's probably perfect. We've got it leveled this way as well. And we actually got a decent little bit of height to put a trough in for the tailings. So I'm gonna take a moment now and just dig a nice little channel with a bit of slope on it and then screw together the wood and put it in place. I kind of have 2 options to put the 2x6s on top. Gives me a little bit higher sides, or I can put them on the sides of the 2x10. I think because I have so little room to begin with, I'm gonna just try the wider, lower option and hope that it just works. So we're just gonna screw these sides on like so. The stuff I'm supposed to be wearing earmuffs for these days. I'm really trying hard to wear ear protection like all the time now, every time, and like Just so many times you're like, oh, just get it done quick, you know, and you cut a little piece with the grinder. But I've been doing that for decades now. And just like a week ago, out of the blue, I woke up in the middle of the night and I could hear my ears ringing, and it hasn't gone away now. It's been like a week or more, like maybe even 2 weeks now. And if I am in a quiet enough area, I hear my ears ringing. So I truly hope that's not permanent damage, but let that be a lesson. Okay, we got her screwed together. I used 5 screws on each side. They were just a number 10, 3.5 inch. And so we'll set this down and just see how it looks. It's perfect other than just getting that into there. I think it's definitely gonna need a bit more slope. Yeah, I think I gotta dig it out a little more and then maybe add a bit more slope to it. That's why these square shovels are so nice. All right, I took another layer off and sloped it out again. I took that down 2 inches, so I had to take the whole thing down 2, but I tried to get a bit more angle on it. And now we're just gonna shove it back in and see how it looks. Shove it over that way. Raise it up, I guess, as much as I can. I need to have the end sealed up somehow, but I think we're gonna be stuck just using dirt. I had a piece of 2x4 laying around here, so I'm actually just gonna screw this on here to keep the end from having to be pure dirt. Cool. I really hope that the slickness of this board and the fact that it's got narrow sides makes like a raging little river that just carries the tailings away as fast as they come in. It'd make our lives a whole lot easier if we didn't have to deal with them spilling here or come and shovel this out of the way all the time. We're gonna add this 2x8 to the kind of the wall here where the tailings actually come out and hit this. And just to add some height, and we're hoping that that's gonna keep the water flow going that way and carrying out all the sand and rocks. Something like that, and I'll just toenail it in. I know you now. All right. I'll show you guys and gals a trick. It's called the Andythraxx reverse pre-drill. Countersink, what do we call it? Pre-drill? So you start the screw at the height you want for a proper toenail, or for really challenging toenail screws. Start it, and then back it up, and you find it spinning in reverse. Then you reset the angle you want, and so then reverse. Now it's counter drilling, and it's ready to go straight in. The lights are blinking. I'm thinking it's all over. I didn't know you were filming. I think I'm just gonna take this piece of leftover 1-inch hose I got and see if it's enough to add a little water to the hopper that keeps kind of jamming up. If we can put another jet of water driving in there, that would be all right. I like how as you spend the time digging and working, like it goes from being a mess to every day it gets a little cleaner and cleaner and cleaner, and you get your stuff set up, and you know, for a few weeks you'll put stuff in the wrong place and it's just annoying and you're always moving it, but then all of a sudden you find that perfect spot and it lives there for the rest of the time. This is our auxiliary valve that we put in just to add, for the option of adding an additional water jet, because I really did think that this might jam and might not flow through like it's supposed to. So that's plenty good to make a little. So now, like with this, just as it is, we'll just try different places, maybe different nozzles, and see, like maybe it would be one shooting up into it like that, or one directly behind it kind of blowing the material down in. But we're having trouble getting it from this box into the trommel. So maybe we'll just put a hose barb on this right now and we'll just get this on right away. I gotta cut this factory clamp off. ran up the additional water line into this hopper here to help feed it through, and we're gonna still play with how we position it or point it. I'm not sure if I want a high pressure nozzle or just a lot more volume than pressure, so it's a give or take, one or the other. But I'm just gonna play with it. It's kind of loose. I'll just wire it into position and play with that and see. But now I'm going to get the plant ready for running with 2 pumps, because we're gonna use 2 3-inch pumps now to get closer to 1,200, 1,300, maybe even 1,400 liters per minute. It's what we need to make the sluice box work right, and now that we got the right angle on it, we're poised to actually get some dirt moving through it. And with this thing flowing, we'll be laughing. There's nothing left to do but just turn up the heat in the cab of the excavator and just feed the plant. And we actually did a small little test last night, just one quick pan because we got home late, of the little bit of material that we did run yesterday, and sure enough, there was a good 20 nice little flakes in there. Small, but just wonderful to see a little bit out of just one quick pan. So it's really exciting and getting to the point now where we're just so ready to start seeing some gold. It's, you know, to lift it off of here is not easy, and to bend it out of the way is not easy. Maybe that, oh, here's definitely how to do it. Okay, so all of a sudden this is a freaking $90 part, this one elbow. And I was regretting having it. It you know, got the job done, but I was just regretting having to get it. But now is exactly what makes this, oh, look at that. You wouldn't have been able to get it off, because I had to heat this thing up till it was wet as a noodle to get it on, because it's so firm and it needs to be exactly that distance. So in order to slip it on there and slip it on there, you're that much short on both ends. So that's perfect. So now I can, you know, I was thinking like it's gonna be so firm, but now I can tilt that out a bit and it will flex a little. So somewhere we gotta have the other pump situated. But this is great. And they just, so it'd be hilarious to like get a flag on them. Like, you know, get him a jacket with like a 6-foot flag. It's like, be like, oh man, it's just, you know, it's part of code. Like being on a mine is dangerous. We need to be able to see you even if you're over like a hill or something. So anytime you're out over there, like when you're building us a couple sign boxes with this, we need you to be wearing a flag over there. And so then you see, you got the footage of like your new guy walking, and he's got like a flagpole on his, you know, a special jacket. We make it for him. And he's got a tool belt full of just like 2x4s and balls of dirt and stuff. It's good fun, poking fun. Okay, this is kind of, how do you say it? Ready? I was wanting to use this as part of, and that, to get the second inlet coming from over there, but I'm not gonna be able to. So I just have to take this off, and then we can put this end on the other end of this and just negate using this altogether. So this will become the new secondary line. That doesn't go in very nice like that, but if I go that way, that's actually really pretty decent. Now that gets both freshwater inlets coming from that side. This one just has to loop through here. Looks like hell, but works like hell. Okay, so we get the torch, get this in, get a couple clampies on it. I got them in my pocket. Propagnius. That's the Greek term for propane. Propagnius. Now this plastic one, that's why it's so burnt. These white or clear plastic are so hard, it's unreal. I'll never buy it again. You absolutely have to like actually burn it. Otherwise the heat doesn't even get into the white ribbing is like, I think it's one of the strongest products known to man. I always just scorch the edge because it just seems to help it seal better, and try to test it for softness. There's the right, but this side isn't, so we need more over here. Okay, just as I thought. That 3-inch actually doesn't fit, so I have to use a 3.5 inch. And we are tucked. So I'll just grab the screwdriver. Yeah, as word of the wise, if you're using 2-inch hose, you need a 2.5 inch clamp. If you're using 3-inch hose, you need a 3.5 inch clamp. Well, that's if it's inside diameter, I suppose. That's gorgeous. So just like the fresh water line coming in here, the second one will come in here now. We'll have both pumps sitting side by side over at the end of the pond. And we got plenty of lay flat to bring the lines out and around. So that was a lovely day of just sorting through the bugs. It was to be expected, and honestly, as hard as it was, it felt like it went better than I thought. So we're set now to have another sluice and try to put some more yardage through. So just pumped to still be just moving ahead. It feels good, progress. And I love what we came up with today. All in all, it's just a great learning experience, and I love it. That's mining. I'm Andy, it's Andythraxx Mining. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.